My name is Roger Jones. I want to thank you all for joining back in with us. We appreciate you signing on. Today we're going to talk about access control systems. Access control is more applicable to a commercial situation than the residential, but it is a very valuable asset to have. Access control is what you see when you have somebody walk up with a card and swipe it and the door unlocks, or a fob. Alert Alarms offers this. There's several different ways to do it, but we're going to talk about some of the options and what can be done and the benefits of access control today for a commercial property. The very first thing that I want to talk about is, number one, it secures your building. You're no longer dependent on people locking the doors and unlocking them at a particular time. If you have a business that you don't want walk-in customers, the doors are locked. You can swipe your way in, swipe your way back out. Secondly, you can set up time periods. So we can say that at my business, I want the front door to unlock at 7:45 in the morning, all the other doors to remain locked, and at 5:15 that door locks back up in the evening. We can say inside that same facility, we've got a server room where we've got a lot of equipment and we don't want anybody to have access to that other than our IT guy. His badge will open that door anytime and nobody else's will. We can have other areas inside that same building where we can have authority levels. So the building unlocks and we can say upper management has access to any of these doors or any of these buildings at any time. They can swipe and go anywhere they want. But lower management or standard employees can get in the front door, they can do their daily work, but they can't go into any of the IT rooms or other service rooms. So it's a fantastic way to keep up with who's in the building, who's out of the building, where they're going, and control who comes and goes. The next benefit to it is it gives you a running track. Each time that I wipe up and I swipe in front of one of those readers, it says Roger Jones swiped at 7:57 and 32 seconds on the front door. So it's a good way to log who comes and goes. So if you've got somebody in the building when they're not supposed to be, or if somebody says they were in an area that they weren't in, you can go back, pull up the history, and you can do it with access control. A couple other things that are nice about it, and going back to arming and disarming, or sorry, locking and unlocking the doors, there's also what's called a first man in that you can set up. So we can set up time zones so that it acknowledges holidays. So if you've got a business and you're not working that day, that the doors don't just automatically unlock. But additionally, let's say we're in the winter now, we have a snow day, and we're going to have employees there, but they're going to be 30 minutes or 2 hours late. There's a feature called First Man In, and if you swipe that card, it unlocks the doors at the standard time. If nobody swipes in the building, it doesn't unlock the doors. So for example, I've got a bank and it opens at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I have employees that get there at 7:30. My employee walks in and swipes. It allows them to go into the building at 7:30. The door locks behind them, and at 8 o'clock, the doors automatically unlock and they're open for business. Everybody's ready to go. If that employee had not swiped at 7:30 and 8 o'clock rolls around, the doors don't unlock. It requires somebody to physically be in the building or on site to get that scheduled to work. So it also is a safety protocol from that point of view. They're incredibly safe. Again, you can have multiple cards. They've got encryption. If you have an employee that's terminated or leaves or you have issues with, you jump on the computer, take their programming out. Their card is no longer a valid card. Even if you don't get the keys back to the building, keys aren't any good, or access codes, any of that can't be used without the cards. These are used in place of the cards. They integrate with the fire alarm system. So if you have a commercial fire system and the fire alarm goes off, the access control system is integrated with it so that the doors can unlock to let everybody out for safety. There's several different access control systems and types, and we can go through those. Excuse me. We can go through those and spend all day. I'm just trying to get everybody kind of familiar with these, and we may go through them a little more in the future. The primary is what we just talked about, but there's also called a standalone access control system, and it's kind of a dumbed down version of that. And those are used more for a single door entry, or if you've got one room that you're trying to control. It is not a PC based, everything is hand programmed on a keypad, but you have either a fob system or a numeric keypad that's on that door that allows access to a single door in and out. They don't have all the same bells and whistles that the others do, but they're a great way to control one door without spending the money that you're going to do getting into a full-blown access control system. The doors are locked in a number of different ways. They make a magnetic lock. They make an electric strike. So depending on what kind of door you have, that's what we're here for, is to make recommendations, tell you what the best lock is for your situation, recommend what doors need done and what doors don't. We can make suggestions on how to set up the programming when we go through all the training with you. So that's what we're here for, to kind of walk you through the process and explain to you what needs to be done, make recommendations, and get it all set up to where it's going to function best for you. Everybody that's used access control never goes without it again. Once they set it up the first time, you fall in love with it, and you won't have another building that doesn't have access control. It's easy to use, and it's a fantastic product. So if you've got a commercial application, why don't you give us a call? Let us come by and take a look at it, give you a free quote. There's no obligations. And let one of our guys visit with you and explain what can be done and the benefits to you in your particular situation. I also want to go back and review what we've talked about over the last couple of weeks. I want to thank Jay for doing the code changes last week. It's been very helpful. We're going to have more how-to videos coming up. And I also want to remind everybody that we still have the camera special going on. That is a result of all our FaceTime Live people. You guys have been fantastic, and we're going to keep that. We've had a big response to it, so we're going to keep those out there. They're listed on our Facebook page, so jump on there and take a look. If you have any questions, or if you have a topic that you'd like to talk about, please send us an email or give us a call at 800-467-0996, or make a post on our page. Thank everybody for joining in. We appreciate you. Again, my name's Roger Jones with Alert Alarm System.